You're warmly welcome once again to the Racing Alternative. Why do we exist? Because we kind of speak our minds. I got into trouble last week, Mr. Darbyshire, actually. With certain horses and certain jockeys. I went down my local pub here in Radley in Hertfordshire. I got absolutely bombed upon by this guy going, "You don't know what you're talking about." And he gave it large to me. So I said, okay, give me your view. Or, you know, even better, why don't you subscribe to Come On Live and we'll get you one of the episodes and you can say exactly what you want, because this game is all about opinions. And he went a bit shy when I said that to him. That's one thing.
I bet he was drinking a mineral water, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he was drinking some bombs. I don't know what they were. There were some really... Now listen, before we get into the racing, we'll talk about last week, loads to talk about. We'll talk about... I mean, this weekend is absolutely fantastic for the National Home Game. Tell us about your sojourn to Lancaster Gate for the big awards day.
Well, yes, it was great to see the great and the good of racing, and then I turned up and spoiled it all, and I basically got absolutely sozzled, let's say.
Hammered.
Sozzled. Yes, you may have seen a video going around. Which although I was truthful, so what a lot of people do, and I will not name them because I was talking to them, but a lot of people just basically make the selections up on a Tuesday morning with a stinking hangover.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, did you finish second, third, or fourth? Did you know the order in which...
Well, the trophy says runner-up, so I would take it as second. There's nothing... Well, we play to win, don't we?
Well,
it's the very nature of us gamblers.
If we play our cards right, hopefully we'll be on the shortlist next year. Fingers crossed. Let's go for it. Good to have you with us today. If you do have a question for us in a future episode, leave us a comment or send your question to theracingalternative@gmail.com for a chance to be featured, not only with a question, but maybe to come on board and be the man or the woman that makes their mark on the Racing Alternative. And will be available, of course, on all major podcast platforms, YouTube, etc., etc., etc. Let's fire into it, Derbyshire. Constitution Hill. What's going on with him?
Well, I did say in here last week, didn't I? It would be a terrible look if he falls. And what does he do? He falls. I mean, I was watching it in the car park at Bangor, thinking, oh dear. But I think in the cold light of day, look, that you can hypothesize as much as you want about it, can't you? But the thing is, none of us know what is going on in that horse's head. But so you don't know it's not going to happen again. Now, somebody put something really, really good on X. I don't know if you saw it. I did retweet this actually because I thought it was just the chances of a horse falling, which I thought was quite remarkable. I better. What the bloody hell have I put that? Tell this is live. So the chances of so it's a 1.65% faller rate.
Wow.
So 3 falls in 4 races is approximately 1 in 56,000.
Oh, stop it.
So the conclusion that I have come to is clearly there's something troubling with Constitution Hill and hurdles. Now, people might say, and you know what? You'd have got away with this 20 years ago. Oh, well, just give him another run. But the problem you have is if you look at some of those falls, they're horrible. They're horrible. And he could just end up with a broken neck. Now that, A, for Michael Buckley, and B, for Nicky Henderson, none of us doubt Nicky Henderson cares for his horses more than anyone else.
Absolutely.
Well, not more than anyone else. He absolutely adores them. But moreover, it would be a terrible, terrible luck for National Hunt Race. It would be awful, wouldn't it? I'm going on the worst case scenario, but bear in mind that 1 in 56,000 stat I've just given you.
Yeah.
It's almost like an accident waiting to happen. I hope it doesn't. So my view on it is he shouldn't run again over hurdles. Or over, I think fences is a terrible idea. If they can't jump hurdles, look, fences are higher. That clearly there is something troubling the horse taking flight, and we can sit here as much as we want, and say it might be this, it might be that. But the reality is, none of us know. We're not horse shrinks.
Okay, now listen, to me, it's like taking your Chihuahua dog to the park, right? Tying him to the tree and putting him in the front of a Staffordshire Bull Terrier and leaving them on their own for 10 minutes. Sooner or later, the Staffy's going to attack and the Chihuahua's no more. I don't want to see him jump another hurdle in public. Yeah, run him on the flat. If Henderson thinks he's still got an engine, run him on the flat. Run him in a stayers event on the flat. There's plenty more prize money there than there is over the jumps. But if he runs him over the jumps again and something happens, then the wrath of the racing public is going to be on Henderson. And we all love Henderson. He's a national treasure. Don't get me wrong. I love the way that he comes out with emotions when his horses win a Gold Cup or a champion hurdle, and he is absolutely brilliant. Please, Nicky, if you're watching this, don't ruin that lovely, wholesale, lovely, beautiful reputation that you have with everybody in horse racing. End of. Absolutely.
And the general public, these terrible anti-law who I absolutely despise.
Yeah, praise into their hands. Yeah.
It complete. I mean, they've already tweeted some stuff. I don't want to give people the link because it oxygenizes them, but it plays into their hands. Look, people are saying, and I agree with you here, that going on the flat is a dreadful idea. Well, there's not actually that much depth in the
staying division, yeah.
In the staying. I'd love to see him going around Chester in the Ormond or something like that, 1 mile 5. I mean, can you imagine running him at Britain's friendliest racecourse, Wolverhampton, in a 1.5 mile maiden? He would pack the bloody place out.
And he'd be the guest of honour as well. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So we agreed. No more jumping. Here is, I won't watch the race because I'll be really scared. Let's have a look back at the Hennessy, as we call it, from last week. Panic Attack. She was brilliant. I look back at her winning the Paddy Powers there, and I had doubts that she would stay. But for me, she's got everything, Stephen. Her jumping was efficient. It was superb. She stays well. She can manoeuvre herself in a way. Race, she's game. And everybody is talking about, including Dan Skelton, about the Grand National. Well, bugger that. With the mare's allowance, she improves another 10, 14 pounds. I'd enter her in the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Well, I think you've got to have a go. Well, the King George would be the ideal race to have a look at, wouldn't it? I think there's a few things. I think the way he's plotted the horse is exemplary.
Absolutely.
Put her away after Windsor, won the Mackerson. I just didn't see the horse staying at all in the Hennessy, but it happened. And it opens up other avenues, and that was the race.
She obliterated them, actually, totally. Stephen just froze them there on my screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's be honest, right? She was way too good in every department for the boys. She absolutely obliterated them. And I know people say, well, you can't think about her taking a jump up to Grade 1 at this stage of the year. This stage of the year and turning into 2026, a horse like that, a mare like that can improve, hand over fist. You just don't know what her ceiling is. I just thought she was brilliant. I think she totally obliterated them.
Yes, yeah. So, I think she obliterated them, but I think it's another step up. And now you could do it the gradual way. I mean, Skelton won the Fleur de Lis of Windsor. That would be an obvious target, for example. I
would give her a bit of a rest, though, Stephen, because she's had those 2 big races back-to-back really quickly. I would freshen her up and run her the Cotswold.
Well, yeah, the Fleur de Lis is the week before. You've got that, the Cotswold, and you've got the Denman. You've 3 perfectly good races to go at. So, yeah, she's a player. She's got to improve another stone and a bit more. But I think
she could.
Well, she could. But I think one thing that we need to focus on is the start of the Hennessy. Now, you and I both backed the Doyen chief, who was the chief sort of sufferer of that. The BHA need to sort their shit out, to be quite honest. these starts are getting more. It was a farce at the festival last year. It was a farce at the Hennessy. It seems that any sort of race where there's any number of horses, and I know it's a bit of a novelty these days, is a complete and utter balls up just because the starting procedures are wrong. Now, people say, "Oh, you can't talk about Robbie Supple." Well, yes, we bloody well can talk about Robbie Supple. It's not his fault. Well, I'm afraid that I find, in my opinion, his actions are more of control freakery than for the good of racing with starts.
Okay, before we move on to our next section, tell me, Stephen, I know you're actually filming this in some Tesco car park. Other superstores are available, I might say. When the hell are you going to get your hair cut now?
I've got my hair cut. No.
Why didn't you do the front? You've done the side. Well, did the electricity panel close down in the barber shop before he got?
Well, I said, look, you've got to do it quickly. I've got to be in London next week. And, well, that was it. Of course, I got it done. You know, look, I've got plenty of hair to cut. I can see you.
Yeah, you've got more than me.
Yeah. You're going. You're going to turn into Victor Meldrew or someone in.
No, I'm going to turn into Kojak. That's the one I want to be. Kojak.
Yeah.
Or Andy Johnson, the footballer. Victor Meldrew, that... Oh, my God, that's the lowest of the low you could call me.
You don't believe
you want to meet me at Sandown Park on Saturday. By the way, we're both going to be at Sandown Park on Saturday for the Tingle Creek. So if you are around, come up and say hello or have a go at us or whatever way you want to do. Let's have a look at the weekend act. I think it's a cracking weekend. I know principally you're looking forward to the Borders National Handicap Chase at Kelso on Sunday. We will come to that. I didn't really want to touch on the Tingle Creek because I didn't think there was all that much to it, and I'd rather have a look at the handicaps on the card. But have you got a view? I thought that Skelton's horse was hugely flattered by his winning the Schlur Chase at Cheltenham because he did everything on the bridle. He wasn't really asked, and I actually don't think he'll finish first or second on Saturday in the Tingle Creek.
I do.
Tell us why.
Well, I think he'll run well. I think the main thing is I think John Bond's past his sell-by date. He's 9, going on 10. Look, Lotus didn't do anything wrong whatsoever at Cheltenham. He did. Don't forget, John Bond wouldn't have even been second. So if it wasn't for Matata at the last, and Lotus did what was expected of him. You know, in the absence of John, but he bought Matata.
Matata. That's like me being you in a 100-metre sprint. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion. You'd have absolutely no chance.
We might give that a go one day. We might do it up the Sandown Hill on Saturday. That'd be hilarious.
Funds to the injured jockey fund. Absolutely, all the money to the injured jockey.
It'll be.
Actually, no, I wouldn't want to start behind you. I wouldn't want to start behind you because all the wind coming from your backside would be stopped by your hair. It would just like shield it. So I'd be in right big trouble, wouldn't I? Okay, so do you think Le Dessau is going to win on Saturday?
No, what I'm saying is, I think the betting is about right. I think Tom is the most likely winner, and Le Dessau will be second.
Will you have a bet
on what?
On the forecast? On the winner?
No.
We're doing multiple?
No, because I think the betting's about right. And the greatest power of a punter is, you can say no.
Okay, let's have a look at the rest of the Sandown card. I thought there was some really interesting handicaps. They got the London National at the back end of the card, but there's one of these Potemps handicap qualifiers at 120, of which you don't know whether a horse is basically just going to try and qualify by being in the first 4. But if it's lowly enough weighted, they've got to win to get a hike up the weights. I was really keen on Lavender Hill Mob, who was rated 95 on the flat, and just found 2 miles as a juvenile hurdler, too short for him last year. I could understand why James Owen didn't realise that earlier. Comes out at Cheltenham. I thought he ran a really fair race up to 2 miles and 5 furlongs because he just stays and stays and stays. And the slower pace of the 2.5 compared to the 2 miles he was running at last season gave him more chance to jump his hurdles more cleanly and efficiently. And I think the step up to 3 miles is going to suit him. I thought he was very interesting around about 8-1.
I couldn't be more disinterested on that horse if you tried.
But you like the film? You like the film, don't you? The Lavender Hill Mob.
I don't watch films. I watch carry old films now and again. I've just not got the attention span.
Okay, throw me a race you are interested in.
No, I'll throw you why I don't think Lavender Hill Mob will win, if you want.
Okay, go on, then.
I thought
You've got 10
he was a terrible juvenile hurdler. He was terrible. I saw him hunted them on days. Oh my God. I don't know how he won. That race at Cheltenham, if he's winning that, it's crap, as far as I'm concerned. I have had 2 bets in this race.
Go on.
I have backed the Skelton horse, I think Supremely West, who I saw. I just think Skelton is very good at getting improvement. They backed it as if defeat was out of the question last time. I don't think he was given the best ride at Cheltenham. And I've had a little bit each way on the Venetia Williams horse, who's 2 from 2 at Sandown and was probably last seen when you were in your 20s. I think he'd not run for 900 days or something like that. But he's certainly interesting from a handicapping point of view. I've had a few quid each way on him at 25s.
Okay, let's go to Aintree very quickly. You can come back to Sandown if you want in due course. The Beecher Chase, 240 at Aintree. Again, many of these want to get a sighter of the national fences with long-term views. Gallia de la Toe runs off 131. 8th, beaten 21 lengths by I Am Maximus 2 years ago in the Grand National. Had a lovely blowout at Carlisle. I think were you at Carlisle that day?
I was.
She was as big as a pregnant cow that day.
Well, she was. She had quite a belly on her. I'm not saying she can't win. I thought there were more likely winners. So
Which are?
I thought Gabriel was one of them. Who could look? Gav Sheehan gave the Grand Sefton winner an absolutely amazing ride last time, and Gabriel was second. I think the distance is fine. It's absolutely. I'm 30 miles from Liverpool, and he's absolutely sheeted down and has done all day. They've had a lot of rain. That'll favour. And I thought Gabriel had a chance from a handicapping point of view, from a distance point of view, and from actually going round Aintree. Now, of course, it's not the test it was, but it remains unique in its nature, doesn't it? So I thought Gabriel was solid. Each way enhanced places. I played that earlier. If it hadn't rained so much, I'd be interested. I think it's Walk in the Park as well. Entered also in the Welsh National, so Ollie Murphy clearly thinks this one stays and could go well off a featherweight. Of course, Mr. Vango is in there for the Brad.
Yeah, but he's going to need it heavy, isn't he, over this trip?
Well,
it's not going to be heavy.
It'll not be so bloody far off. I'd be going soft.
No, it's not. And he's going to run off. What is it, 152? No,
well, he would have to be borderline Gold Cup class to be winning.
Yeah, of course. Low coach.
Well, yeah, I remember saying that in the Midlands National. I looked like a right tit after it, but that was the...
But that is a race for slow coach.
Well, I thought it wasn't, because of course they called the ground good to soft, and it was heavy on times, and they would not have it was heavy. They just thought...
Yeah, bloody idiots.
Yes, absolute idiots. It'd be nice if it wasn't, because of course we all love Sarah Bradstock, don't we?
Absolutely, real.
They're a great family.
Any other business at Aintree for you fancy?
Yes. It's great. My Wi-Fi's gone off, so you can help me here because I've got it all in my head.
Good Lord. Well, look at the size of your head, though.
Yes, it's like a melon.
A right melon. By the way, while Stephen's laughing at him, you very rarely see him smile, which is lovely. Look at those set of molars, fantastic.
Yes.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, of course, NRG Bet, for supporting this podcast. Come on, NRG. What is it you're going to be having a bet on elsewhere at Aintree?
Well, juvenile hurdle, the top one, the Irish horse. My working hypothesis is that the juvenile hurdlers are always bad in the summer, and they steadily get better, don't they?
Yeah.
Honestly, they have been absolutely putrid this year, with a capital P. This Nichols horse, that's the jolly. The horse it beat at Ludlow, okay, it beat it doing handstands, but was well beaten today at Market Raising. I think this Irish horse was third behind a Gordon Elliott Animal last time, who won a graded race at Fairyhouse at the weekend. I think it's got a right shout, if you could tell me what it's called, because this bloody Wi-Fi's gone off on the burner phone.
Well, we'll know which horse it is. Is it number one on the card?
Number one on the card. There you go.
And it wears the Mania colours, doesn't it? Okay. I like in the 4:30. It's the 3:15 handicap hurdle over 2.5 miles. This is really competitive. Not a massive field, but big enough. Strength in depth here. I really like Active Authority, who, remember, the big Aintree Grand National meeting ran really well in the 3-mile hurdle. Looked like the winner, coming down between the third and the second last, and his stamina just gave out. He's back down to 2.5 miles, and for me, this is his optimum trip. I think he's got a great chance. And he's ran about 7 or 8 to 1, which I thought was too big.
There we go. I didn't have an opinion on that race.
Okay.
Which wasn't like me. I tried to have an opinion earlier today. It might just be a bit softer than you think, though, honestly.
Okay, we'll see. And if it's
Noah's floating past the window.
Who is?
Noah.
Okay, lovely. Very funny. Actually, not funny at all. What about Chepstow, the Welsh Grand National trial? Have you got thoughts on that?
I didn't have an opinion on the Welsh Grand National trial. All I will say is it is a very, very good trial for the Welsh National itself. Very often horses who win that, honestly, you want to have a look. Whatever wins, he's going to be very, very interesting come the 27th of December at Chepstow. Did you have an opinion on the Welsh National trial?
I do. I have an opinion on the trial. I mean, the Gifford horse obviously is trying to make it 6 and 6 over fences, but he's gone up from a mark of 93, to 124, 125. So we need to do it again. He needs it to rain. He's a total mudlark, but you wouldn't put it beyond him winning. And Jubilee Express as well. The one I really liked at a left field odds of 25 to 1 here was your friend, or you'd like to be closer friend, Rebecca Curtis, and Pat's Fancy, who was rated 145 in his novice season when he was beaten 2.5 lengths by Brave Man's Game, yeah? And he obviously he's had some training problems because he's only had 6 or 7 runs since then. I think it was 2022. He's not had a lot of racing. He's a real big, scopy individual, so obviously physical problems. But he's down to a mark of 112 here, which is ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think having come on for that run at Foss last, I thought it was a really promising run. I can see him being in the 3. I thought 25s was way, way too big.
I remember seeing him, it was at Newbury when he was against Brave Man's Game. And as you say, he's a big brute of a thing, isn't he?
He's like you, isn't he?
Yeah,
is that the current equivalent of you?
Want him on your side in the trenches.
Yeah, you bloody well would. In the trenches, as they say.
Yes, in the trenches.
I'm very quickly going to go to the evening because I tipped a horse called Straight 8 at Wolverhampton last Saturday, and it should have won. Ali Rawlinson was as weak as tea on it. He was absolutely awful. He hit the front 3/4 of the furlong out, and he just didn't go hell for leather. It's running again actually this Saturday, so buyer beware. Don't back it. He's drawn in stall 10, and Rawlinson's on board again. But my nap for the weekend runs at Wolverhampton. You're going to Wolverhampton Saturday night?
I'm not doing it on the way back when I'm going to Kelso the next day. The missus would geld me for such practice.
She would geld you. I'm amazed she hasn't done it already. It might do you some good, actually. And then you'll be in the same hallway as Constitution Hill. 6 o'clock at Wolverhampton, there's a horse called Keep Talking, a 3-year-old, goes an extended mile handicap. He's always been very, very free in his races, so he hasn't finished off his races. Last 2 runs, he's begun to relax into his races. He's been dropped £7 for 3 runs. He's got a great draw in stall number 3. I think he'll be 8 or 10 to 1. I think he's got a great chance off a career low mark. So that's Keep Talking in the 6 o'clock at Wolverhampton, something that you're unbelievably brilliant at doing.
I am. I just keep till I can do it underwater. But we must look. We must look at the best race of the week. I love going to this.
Yeah.
The Borders National. What a race.
You love it.
I absolutely love it. Sandy Thompson has got a great record in it as well. And Grosny goes for him and Jimmy Five. I will just say Sandy's horses are not running very well. There was an eye catcher last week, by the way. I was at Carlisle, and Auchinleck, after being completely and utterly outpaced and didn't jump particularly well, positively flew up the hill, and I think he would be of interest at 4 miles around Hexham come the festival time. So there you go. I will give you the winner of the. I will say the bookmaker, the BK Racing, because he bets on course, Hexham 4 miler on Festival Thursday. So there you go, it's Auchinleck. So you can remind me of that nearer the time. However, I think Go Claremont will win this. I think she's very good. She's come from Andy Irvine. She's against the Gifford horse, isn't she? She was against the Gifford horse last time at Hugh Thompson.
Yeah.
She just got outpaced. I think 4 miles, a slog around Kelso. She stays longer than the mother-in-law, and she can win. I think she's chucked in, and Ollie Murphy surely can elicit some improvement out of this game mare.
I do like it when you use those long words. Although elicit's not wrong, it's very clever, isn't it? And you are a clever guy. The Racing Alternative brought to you in conjunction with NRG Bet. I do like Grosney. I think he's been dropped £4 for those 2 runs, hasn't he?
Yeah.
6 in the Kimbrel, 4 in the Scottish National. If ever Sandy Thompson's horses are going to jump back into form, and sometimes you don't know with trainers, out of form, all of a sudden one clicks, and all of a sudden the stable clicks.
Yeah, there's been a change. There's been a change at Sandy's though, because I think Ryan Manier was doing a lot of the work, and he's gone to the Nickel Yard, and they haven't been running. Sandy's a lovely bloke, and he's got a great record in this, and he's a very shrewd trainer. So it would be remiss of you to write him off. I think Grosney was about 16s the last time I looked.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Double figures. And by the way, a friend of mine who works for Gordon Elliott, I was speaking to him on the phone on Wednesday. The court card on Sunday, interesting. He's going to introduce quite a number of young horses in the 12 o'clock. Manoir de Mirande, who won one of those junior flat races in France before Jigginstown bought him to come over here. He could run in that 12 o'clock. Apparently he's been working well, although Mode Avion, who was very disappointing on his debut because he jumped really badly. It's between those two which one of them is going to run. Gordon Elliott actually is quite happy to run 2 or 3 in a race, but make a note of that. Manoir de Mirande, if he doesn't run on Sunday at Cork, he's one to look forward to as well in the coming weeks and months over the jumps.
Yeah, I just want to say something about a very good ride, actually. So we are guilty of... watch the last race back at Bangor on Saturday. Be the Difference. Freddie Keithley was on. And they were winning from the front all day. And he clearly was not happy with how quick they were going. And he just pressed the accelerator pedal, probably a circuit left to go, went miles clear and just ran them into submission. Now, Be the Difference, by the way, I'm not quite sure what wins the race, runs Friday at Sedgefield. Who knows? But it had a hard race, and it was given a very good ride. So it might be one to take on tomorrow. Of course, flattered somewhat by good jockeyship.
I like praise. Stephen Darbyshire, when he praises something, you kind of sit up and take notice because he's already miserable. He never praises me. You never praises our producer Adam. I always have to do that. So, So there you go. Now, best bet of the weekend. What are you looking for? What's the Derbyshire Spondoolies going on?
Right. If you look at the handicap hurdle at Sandown, this is this horse's champion hurdle, and I know it's favourite, and I know it's bloody boring, but Knickerbocker Glory, I'm very, very sweet on Knickerbocker Glory.
Oh, the 2 mile handicap hurdle.
Every year, this horse wins first time out, and did it last year. If it rains, it'll help as well. But the point is that this horse has been trained for one race and one race only, and it's Saturday, and I can see. I mean, I think last year went off about 50 to 8. I think probably go off somewhere around that. I think you can get some 11 or 4 in the village at the moment, and I've had quite a wedge.
You've had a wedge on already?
Yes.
What price?
11 or 4.
11 or 4. if he goes out to 11 to 4 again on the day, will you go in? Will we see you on the rails with your big Arthur Daly coat, pulling out a wad of 20 and 50 pound notes you were in inside pocket? We going up to one of the lead bookmakers and frightening them so much that they actually drop something in their pants. Will you be doing that again if he goes out to 11 to 4 or 3 to 1 at Sandown?
Well, if he's 3 to 1, of course I will. Of course I will.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Watch out. Watch out. There's a Derbyshire about.
That's very good. I'll get rid. This'll annoy them, won't it? Just getting rid of all this Scottish money I've got from Carlisle.
I love it. Stephen, it's been great to speak to you. I'm sorry you didn't win at the big awards on Monday, but I think it's a stepping stone to winning next year, to be honest.
It is. It's a catapult, isn't it? And you can come on the catapult with me next year, sir. How's that?
I would absolutely love to. I will see you at Sandown on Saturday. Yes. If anybody sees us there, please come up and say hello or have a go at us or do whatever you... Or for Darbyshire, buy him a drink and a burger. That will make him happy, won't it?
Yes, it will. It will. Indian tonight.
For them? Oh, is it? Oh, dear. I'm not standing next.
Gastronomic orgy.
Terrible stuff. Thank you for joining us on The Racing Alternative. Whatever you're doing this weekend, be safe. And hopefully you're going to make a shekel or two, maybe on the back of our tips, but hopefully on your tips as well. And have a brilliant weekend.